Lesson 332. Fear binds the world and forgiveness sets it free. This is the second lesson in the Special Thoughts series of what is the ego. And I think it's very important special thought, and that's also why I believe it's so high up. It's towards the end of the course, and it really is about forgiveness. And the ego separates and forgiveness unites. Welcome to the Qigong Support for A Course in Miracles students. My name is Judith, and this is part of the Lucid Mind Center, a virtual mind training center I created back in 2010, and which is finally taking shape, where I can see where it needs to go. And the reason this is called the Qigong Support is because after reading and contemplating this lesson together with you, I'm going to guide you to Qigong classes which I have recorded especially for this special thought, what is the ego, and which is very suitable for this lesson. Let's begin reading the lesson now, and I'm going to give you more instructions at the end. Lesson 332. Fear binds the world and forgiveness sets it free. The ego makes illusions. Truth undoes its evil dreams by shining them away. Truth never makes attack. It merely is, and by its presence is the mind recalled from fantasies, awakening to the real. Forgiveness bids this presence, that truth, to enter in and take its rightful place within the mind. Without forgiveness is the mind in chains, believing in its own futility. Yet with forgiveness does the light shine through the dream of darkness, offering hope and giving it the means to realize the freedom that is its inheritance. And it is quite interesting in our society at the moment, in the current situation in the world, that the West is called the free world. And many countries in the East are not free. Some of the countries, women are totally oppressed, others less oppressed. What the Course is teaching us is that when there is one person oppressed by another, the one which is oppressing them, they are also imprisoned. So there is that prisoner of oppression, but there is also the guard of the oppression. So they are kind of both in the oppressive state. And we in the free world, we have forgotten what that actually means to be in the free world. We are kind of criticizing it. But the thing is, you see that all of us on this world are the holy children of God. So all of us have to wake up. It's not just the few of us here in the West or wherever we are in the world. All of us have to wake up. And if we currently have more than somebody else, if we have got more freedom than somebody else, then it's our job to uphold it, and it's also our job to share that freedom, if you will, to share that freedom of the mind with the ones which don't have the freedom of the mind. Fear binds the world, and if you observe it, if you observe this on a larger scale, then you also see that the ones which are oppressed, the countries which are oppressed, they are ruling with fear. This is their motto. So fear binds the world, whereby forgiveness sets it free. Whereby the countries which are free, they are very forgiving, and there's not that many rules. They're more supportive. The politics are more supportive than restricting. That is really the job of the politics, I find. But that is the world out there. What we have to observe is, how is this within me? Am I actually keeping somebody prisoner? And with that, keeping myself imprisoned because I'm holding somebody in contempt. And forgiveness loosens those chains. Forgiveness kind of says, don't hold this person prisoner, and by not holding that person prisoner, you become free yourself. And that is what we really want. We want to be free, and forgiveness is giving us that freedom. That's why it's such a powerful tool, because we are freeing our mind. And with that we are freeing our spirit. We are allowing our spirit to take over. Let's read the prayer. In the Qigong class, I'm going to ask you to read the idea and also the prayer. I have made a special Qigong class for what is the ego, but I have put it in my English Qigong channel because I'm actually not talking about the Course in Miracles. It is a class which I believe is useful for anybody who would like to enter into forgiveness. And in that class, we are first going into we're purging, we are letting go of all the negative thoughts which are creating negative emotions in our being. And then we imagine a situation which is difficult for us to forgive. Maybe a situation, maybe a person which we are difficult to forgive. We are going to visualize that situation in front of us and then visualize that we are forgiving them. We are going to send light and freedom really into that area, into that zone. And when I prompt you to read your idea, then you read the lesson's idea and also read the prayer. You can put the lesson on hold for a moment. And then after you have got the idea clear in your mind, you put the book next to you, and then you send the idea also into the situation. It's like a circulation. You can either have the person there or you can have a situation. And then you inhale up, you say, fear binds the world, forgiveness sets it free, and then you are sinking that idea into the situation. And when you do that a few times, observe how you feel. And also after you finish the class, notice how you feel about the situation. Notice how you feel the next day about that situation. So let's read the prayer. We would not bind the world again. Fear holds it prisoner, and yet your love has given us the means to set it free. Father, we would release it now, for as we offer freedom, it is given us, and we would not remain as prisoners while you hold out our freedom onto us. Absolutely beautiful. And as you know, I'm in Gran Canaria. That's also why it's so warm. It's actually incredibly warm for November. We have got a slight heat wave, which is okay. I like heat waves in the winter. And it's amazing. And sometimes I'm so blessed and I can't see it. I can't see the blessing and freedom and what I have. The safety of the country and the safety of the village and all this. Sometimes, just take it for granted, forgetting that this is actually an achievement as a people, that we have reached this sort of freedom. I don't have to worry about leaving even my house unlocked when I go down to the beach or something. Nothing will happen. And that is freedom. That is how it should be for everybody on this earth. But it's not. There's many, many places where you can't leave your house open, where it's dangerous to walk on the street. And this is all part of freedom. And then we have got the physical freedom. Like, for example, I've been telling you that I have got this hip pain. And I had this very strong urge to go to the gym. Still doing my Qigong. Today, actually, I went to the gym and did the whole sequence, the Shibashi. This is like a Tai Chi Qigong sequence with 18 movements. And today I did the whole 18 movements with 2 kilos of weight in each hand. And as I'm strengthening those muscles around that hip, the hip has got a chance to heal. And as a society, we have learned the muscles are the ones which are keeping the bones safe. So the older we are, the more we have to train to keep a minimum of muscles to keep the body healthy. Various reasons. There's loads and loads of different studies. And I like to use this as an analogy for the training of the mind. So when you are training your mind the way the Course in Miracles is suggesting, we are training those mental muscles. We are training the mind daily, hourly, constantly of what kind of train of thought we are going to allow in our awareness. What kind of thoughts are we going to allow? What are we censoring and what are we promoting? And this is about freedom. If you want to have the freedom of movement with your body, you have got to train your muscles. So you've got the freedom also in a higher age. And if you want to have the freedom, you want to have a mental freedom, you got to train those muscles, mental muscles, to make sure that your thoughts are going only in the direction which you have prescribed. The same as the muscles are making sure that the bones and everything are using the power of the muscles and not on the bones and using up the bones and ligaments. You see? And in Qigong, what we're doing, we are strengthening the ligaments, we are strengthening the fascia. So the muscles are very important, but it's also very important that the fascia, the ligaments and tendons are being strengthened. And according to Qigong, the meridians, we believe that they are in the fascia, and that with the Qigong and the breath, you are strengthening the fascia and cleaning it out, making sure that all the messages from all the qi can flow all the way to every part of the body. So in this world, it's about training the body, training the mind, and with that, controlling the emotions. Because when the mind is trained, the emotions follow, because the emotions are a result of the things we are thinking. And to constrict, to say, this is what I'm going to think about, this is giving you freedom. Because if you allow the heavy thoughts to be in your mind, you don't have freedom, because the ego has taken over. So with that in mind, let's read this idea again. Fear binds the world. Forgiveness sets it free. The ego makes illusions. Truth undoes its evil dreams by shining them away. The truth is the light. Abstract. Truth never makes attack. It merely is, just like the sun. It just is. And by its presence is the mind recalled from fantasies, awakening to the real. And here I just want to point out that the presence is with a capital P. This is the presence of God, the presence of light, the presence of truth, the presence of love. And by its presence is the mind recalled from fantasies, awakening to the real. Forgiveness bids this presence to enter in and take its rightful place within the mind. Without forgiveness is the mind in chains, believing in its own futility. Yet with forgiveness does the light shine through the dream of darkness, offering it hope and giving it the means to realize the freedom that is its inheritance. And the prayer? We would not bind the world again today. Fear holds it prisoner, and yet your love has given us the means to set it free. Father, we would release it now, for as we offer freedom, it is given us. Whatever you offer to somebody else, it's given to you, because you can only give what you have. And we would not remain as prisoners while you hold out our freedom onto us. Amazing. It is quite interesting as well, as I can see that we first learned the mechanisms, and now we are applying the mechanisms to what really matters. Now we are applying forgiveness, and we are applying and calling in the presence of God, the presence of love and light into every situation in our life, even while we're eating the food, even while we're going to the toilet and having a shower. We should be really calling the presence of the light of God, of love, of Jesus, of Christ, or whatever you want to call it. We should really call this in every moment of our experience here as humans. So the new Qigong class, which I have recorded, you can do both seated and standing, and I'm showing you the variations in the class. And it is about forgiveness and about the ego, about letting go of fear and letting go of other negative emotions, and remembering and calling in forgiveness, working with forgiveness consciously. And I recommend that you do this several times during this 10-day period, so it becomes second nature to you. So here's the Qigong class I have recorded for what is the ego. Here is another forgiveness class which I think could be interesting for you. Here is the reading of what is the ego I invite you to do with me. And here you have got the list of all Qigong classes if you would like to do another one. Love, light and chi to you.